Today I'm making this demo to illustrate how the combat of Rings of Hell is fun. While playing through this demo, I'm going to talk about the different decisions I made before and during combat to demonstrate one possible strategy a player may take. I'm going to start this demo by looking at the equipment, skills, and items menus and how they currently affect combat. In the equipment menu, a player can attach different pieces of equipment to red and blue to alter their stats. I'm going to start by giving red the yellow belt. Since red is the faster of the two, I'm going to use her to increase the height meter while I use blue to deal damage. The yellow belt will make her even faster. Since she has lower health than blue, I'll also give her the iron helm to help even them out. Since blue is my damage dealer, I'll give her the motorcycle helmet to further increase her attack power. Then I'll give her leather belt to boost her defense a bit. The skills menu is where the player can select the different attacks and maneuvers for red and blue. Both red and blue can both use up to 4 skills at a time. Since red is going to be my main source of getting hype, I'm deciding to give her the kick rather than the punch, as it gives the player more hype. The second move is going to be Sparkly Kick. This move buffs the user with Sparkly, a status condition that raises the amount of hype that the afflicted wrestler receives from performing moves. I'm also going to use Dizzy Drop Kick, so that she has one move that does deal some damage. Finally, I'm going to give her Pin. Since Pin is a move that is not affected by stats, I'd rather give it to red so I can give more powerful moves to blue to take advantage of her attack power. Blue, being the wrestler I'm going to use to deal damage, is going to get more damage-focused moves. Even though a punch doesn't do a lot of damage, it's important that she at least has one move that can get hype so she can help gather hype at the beginning of matches. After that, I'm going to give her the Grapple Punch. This is a helpful move that causes a grappled status effect. This status effect stops wrestlers from being able to make moves for a few turns. This is very strong against stronger enemies. Her next move will be Clothesline. This move does a ton of damage and can be helpful for knocking down an enemy's health low enough so that red can pin them after blue does the clothesline. The last move will be a tandem move. This move requires a lot of height to perform, with the trade-off being that it does a lot of damage. This will be good doing large amounts of damage to enemies with large health pools, as well as for potentially finishing enemies off. This is a possible item configuration a player may have. Burritos are health restoring items, and the way they're set up right now, each burrito restores 15 health. A Superfan is an item that, when used, does damage to all enemies. Megaphone is a very good item that gives a small amount of hype to the hype meter, as well as giving both red and blue 2 stacks of Sparkly. A very good item to use on the first turn. This combat encounter is representative of a match that would happen after the players played the game enough to be familiar with the different combat mechanics. This fight is of a medium-high difficulty. There's 2 different enemy wrestlers in this combat scene. First one is Brute. Brute is a wrestler possessing high attack and high health. To offset this, she isn't very fast. The other wrestler is KO Mega. Her stats are middling and she isn't overly strong or overly fast, but what makes her dangerous is that she'll take any opportunity she can to pin red or blue. This can catch the player off guard if you're not paying attention and result in a quick loss. Brute and KO Mega have good cohesion. Since Brute does such high damage, there is a good chance that KO Mega will take advantage of red or blue's low health to get an early game pin. To mitigate this, I'm going to quickly build hype so blue can perform a grapple punch to temporarily stop Brute for a few turns. Then I'll focus on getting rid of KO Mega as quickly as possible. As soon as red has initiative, I use the megaphone item to get a quick 10 hype, as well as give both red and blue 2 stacks of Sparkly. Even though blue gets her turn first, I'm slow on the draw and Mega is able to get his move off on me. I'm unsuccessful in blocking the attack and blue takes a good amount of damage. For the next 2 turns, I have red and blue use kick and punch to raise the height meter. Once the height meter is high enough, I have blue use the grapple punch on Brute. He will not be able to make any moves for 2 of his turns, allowing me to focus on Mega. I have red use a Sparkly Kick to give herself the Sparkly status effect in order to try and regain some hype. KO Mega tries to get a pin, but my health is full enough to where it isn't too hard to break out of it. I use red to see if I can get an early game pin on Mega, but his health is still too high for me to be able to fill the meter. I decide to do more damage to Mega before I try to pin him again. Now that his health has been lowered, I give it another shot. I was finally able to pin him, now it's just Brute. I took a bit too long to decide what to do, and Brute was able to take advantage and hurt Blue. I had Blue use a clothesline to take a chunk out of Brute's health. I attempt to pin with red, but I'm not even close to filling the meter. I have Blue use a burrito and red to regain 15 points of health. Brute still has a lot of health left, so I take advantage of my high height meter and perform a tandem attack to inflict a lot of damage. Here I debate if Brute's health is low enough to be successfully pinned, but instead I wait for red to attack again so I can get the height meter high enough for Blue to be able to initiate the tandem attack. Tandem attack was enough to finish off Brute, which means I won.